Speaking of someone who's not assertive, we'll go over to the Houston side, but we got to talk about Russell Westbrook and his struggles. Last night, Westbrook had 10 points and 13 rebounds, but he shot 4 of 15 and committed 7 turnovers. Here's Russ after the game being brutally honest about his performance.
Yeah, I don't know. Right now I'm just running around. So I got to look at film and figure out how to be effective. Some is my fault, some are missed calls, but it's on me. I don't point fingers at nobody else in my own game. I own my mistakes, I own what I do, and that's that.
Matt, how worried should anyone be about Russ's play right now?
I think Russell figured out, but I just think as great as he's been, the numbers he's put up, how historical he's been in the context of the game, his next evolution is understanding the pace of play and changing his pace of play. Russ has always been a guy that we've marveled at because he's probably the most athletic, strongest, fastest point guard we've ever seen, and he's used that to dominate this NBA. But as the injuries start to pile up, as he starts to get a little bit older, the next evolution in this game is being able to change speeds and pick and choose in his spots and really letting the game come to him. Because even when he scores, sometimes it's still nasty or almost looks forced because he ended up getting it because he is so athletic and strong. But when he takes just a step back, maybe downshift a little bit and pick and choose his positions, he's still one of the best out there.
Yeah, I think he just has to go back to understanding who he is. Because when I watched these last 2 games, he settled. He shot too many threes. When Westbrook was dominating middle of the season, he stopped shooting the 3. He was going to the basket. He was like, right here. He was open. Take a couple dribbles and go to your mid-range or try to attack the basket. That's when he's at his best. So he has to understand who he is. I'm not concerned about his shooting because that comes and goes. But he has to not be sloppy with the ball.
Yes.
If he just has 2 turnovers last night, I truly believe Houston Rockets win.
Yeah.
I truly believe it.
And as good as he's been, it's almost scary sometimes down the stretch when you see the ball in his hands if you're a Houston Rockets fan because, the one game where you thought that James would have the ball, obviously Russ ran and threw the ball out of bounds in, the last 10 seconds of the game. So like I said, he's been historically one of the best point guards we've ever seen. But I just think now it's mental and understanding his age and his body and where he's at and just that next step in his game is just downshifting a little bit.
Another thing you have to wonder is this injury affecting him? He dealt with a quad, coming off. It's hard to go back from 0 to 100 in the middle of a playoff run when you miss a couple weeks of basketball. So he's starting to find his rhythm. Maybe the injuries bother him. That's what I said. Pick his spots, but he can control his turnovers.
Absolutely.
A lot of them are unforced turnovers.
Right.
So if he can do that, I think the Houston Rockets have a chance.
I mean, look, he does have to develop the old man game, right? Everybody gets that point in their career for sure. But, Paul, to your point, in January and February, he toned down the three-point shooting, and he was shooting only about 2 a game. He was shooting way more than that before that. But look at yesterday, as the Lakers basically aren't even guarding him. There's nowhere near anyone near him in that situation.
There's a reason. No one even close to him. Like they want, and it's almost similar to what Miami is doing with Giannis. It's fool's gold. You want him to maybe make 2, 3, or 4 because that means he's going to take 10, 12, or 13 of them. You know what I mean? So Russ has to find his spots, like Paul said, one of the best mid-range shooters in the game. I'm saying from right there, cut. You know what I mean? You cut, draw the defense, and either score. Like, I don't know if his quad is well enough to score. I think he is if he's out there. But even if you're not, you're able to make a play for someone else. But there's a reason why they're leaving him wide open, and I think he'll figure that out.
And one more thing. As a coach, and I'm coaching against Westbrook, I'm going to ask myself, I'm going to take the lesser of 2 evils. Do I want Westbrook shooting threes or causing havoc going to the basket?
Right.
We'll give him the 3. Go ahead. We'll give you that all day.
All day, because you can't take away everything.
You can't take away